All Gamers versus EDG. EDG attacking, All Gamers picking this into them. Brave. EDG have got Icebox as well. It's region when they're going to skip Shanghai group stage. Oh, is it? I didn't know that, but that makes sense considering it's a 12-team tournament. Right, EDG fighting in mid early, breaking market. You've got a trip here. You've got a camera in alley to play off. Lots of focus going over towards here. And the camera's been broken. So actually everybody grouping up here to get some good information. Maybe clear out some lurking player, but Haodong thought that he had perfect timing to try and get him from market, but it was being watched. Everybody's adjusted well. Monk's position's a little bit risky, but he gets the support that he needs just at the right time. Also, this is not played on the new patch, in case that wasn't clear. Whether that's in for playoffs or for Shanghai for China remains to be seen. Could barely get the time right for when games start, never mind what patches that we're playing on. Oh no, this is just Chi-Chu winning a 1v3, isn't it? Not quite, okay. Thankfully, Delby saves the day. 球球1v3已经拆成了最后的1v1，一度是有机会把这个残局强行给兜回来，但是最后Delby还是稳住了枪。第一个是他杀的，最后一个。Wait, what are we saying about the playoff? Sorry. 直接把浩东摘掉也是相当关键的一个情况了，包括上第二时间回防到了出生点的位置，我们可以看到让康康在这个。The first seed from the groups gets an extra point because they're going to skip a game. I mean, literally said in the like that must have been changed recently. 最初的印象差又不一样了。这张地图在国内打了8次，有60%的一个进攻方胜率。我相信。Because I've seen like rule books that have said that it's just for group stage games, other than winning the playoffs. Yeah, I could be wrong. If there's a source for it, let me know, because I'd like to sort of read it. 对于 AG 来说，这个开局是完全能接受的一个情况了。第二分是起了5把害灵，非常求稳的一个起枪方式。对，想跟你缩短距离去打。索奈脸上踩雷飞剑过来以后， DRX is an extra point in the leaderboard. According to what though? Wikipedia, VLR, both. If it's on like a Riot website, then sure, but. Still some good damage done on the eco. Managed to lurk up, and at least this is like good information for Haodong to see how they're putting trips and cameras and stuff. So much space. Look at this though. The Raze is here. The Cypher's inserted here. Not really going to be seen from even a push in B main, so they really have no idea that he's here up until now. It's 20 HP, so a quick flick around could have done a crazy amount here. I imagine All Gamers is like comms here are going to be a little bit chaotic whilst they try and work out what on earth is going on? There's no official leaderboard as far as I know. No, I don't think so either. I'll see if I can find the rulebook for later. I know I've been talking to Gorilla a lot about it, so I'll ask him. Good nades. Not really right in the position. But defuse comes in. I mean, that's a good eco, isn't it? 3 kills in a plant. What is with esports hub in the game? I mean, it's a cool place to like show off stuff. But yeah, that's also a really good point. Like, you could just put it in there, I guess. Very good damage, very good damage. Remind me when we have a timeout for me to message Gorilla. Wait, a Vitality playing today? Because he might be busy. 至于掉多少那是后面的事情。是的。
Yeah, this is going to be a great bonus for all gamers. 2 Stingers, no armor, Sheriff, 2 Spectres. Pretty sure it was like a full buy up on the anti-eco too. They were trying to do like an FPX buy. But full armor here too, because extra money for the plant means that this should be a fairly beefed up round. Good flash, good adjustment from Kung Kung. Showstopper, he manages to just dodge it. He changed his sends, I think it's working. I mean, I say he changed his sends, he changed it from 1600 DPI to 0.2 to 800 DPI and 0.4, so the sends is the same. That flash dodge was crazy. I guess that's one of the aspects, like, when you're playing up against a breach on A, they're mostly always going to be on A on the defense. You're sort of always expecting that a flash is going to come in from somewhere. Breach is useless versus Chinese pros. I'd say for Sunset, Breach is pretty useless, full stop. I think it's a really good map for him, just like with what his utility can do, but I think it's just too telegraphed and it's a bit too... It's a bit too obvious for what you want to be doing. EDG could cook. You could put him on 5 duelists and then cook something up. Breach Fade, some good combos. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that we're not seeing more Fade at the moment anyway. Who was it that played Gecko Fade? Was that 100 Thieves? That's something that I think, like, it's one of my favorite comps I've seen so far. But I like playing Silver on this map, so I'm an idiot. You know? Like... But this is the right idea. You're not just playing the... Because so many teams would play like the Breach and the Omen over here, because you need to... As a defender, you need to be contesting this as much as you can. So the Viper Wall kind of makes it difficult. Makes it so, like, as a defensive side, you have to sit back a little bit more. So the Silver here is good because you can sit back and you can still get reach of information from a distance. But like against this comp, I think, with just anything with like Viper Cypher, I think if you swap this for a KO, said it's Porky Pig then. Gale. 先丢失了，通道有人架，你要交完焰火没有，直接能趟过去，直接硬找。Good kill. He is getting so much without being traded. A crazy place for Spitfires to play, but the one way came in pretty much around the same time. 康康手里还是有完焰火，依然会非常的有近距离的杀伤能力。 I think Gecko Sober just lacks a bit of punch. Speaking of punch, Paranoia kind of missed. Might not matter. Kung Kung's just got this like protagonist syndrome going on. And he sprayed the full round. Nobody's there, just playing off of him too. And there's 4 players ready and waiting for Delby to fight. Look at all of these light sight lines. Yeah, I can't do too much. Not when Kung Kung's in this kind of form. All 4 leagues of matches. This week, well, doesn't EMEA finish tomorrow? And then they have their playoffs. Next week is going to be crazy busy. Like next weekend, you've got all 4 regions playing for... Well, at least at that point when all 4 regions played Saturday, Sunday. How many teams will be set for... 前点的禁魔，然后省下了非常多的道具，进到点内找到了非常好的位置去安插爆。Second map is Icebox. AG 这分存钱分打完，估计要交暂停了。是。现在面对对面 A 点的一波流，其实感觉有点接不住。Ooh, nice shot. Full on dinged him, 5 HP. 有点远啊。争议也是没有办法比较。Camera just in this corner that needs to be cleared. Trip here. 这个位置就不太好说了，这是进入了争议一发致死的射手。And then stacking on A, but it's found nothing.
战术监控打掉了。LP 这个位置是要吃，
他得换。哎，但好像
Oh, right, I see. Light time zone. That makes sense.
你看吗？
这是
等一下是看到了还是没看到？
故意啊，
Oh, man.
假装没看到，回头一个玩意我最稳的把人给收下来了。
鱼眼的
Just everything's been well predicted, well, like, viewed.
4名成员想要去回防，压力其实
This is a little bit brave against an eco, but it's not going to matter anyway. If this guy's just getting free case every single fucking round.
接住2个人，自己的位置
Good damage from Bunt, but
给收下。那这个回合也
I don't know. You got a full buy. Doing a timeout now would be risky because see what ultimates they have. Showstopper was used. Crash was just used. So it's not like EDG have like a big amount of ultimates to go with in this round.
为自己攒下了比较多的。
Well, none to like get them in, I guess, because you don't have a breach or a KO or a fade. Literally, the 2 ultimates that they just used are the ones that you want to be using to go for an execute.
这波确实很聪明，假装我没有看到你啊，鱼眼的余光。
你猜我有没有看到对吧？
是。
So maybe there's a chance for a timeout here for all gamers and ego.
对，
这个点后就那么大点地方。
是的。
AG 这个暂停确实得叫，就现在是问题是，尽管对面
Because usually I'm a little bit say if EDG had the showstopper here and the gecko ult, doing a timeout here, you're just kind of letting After and Muggle go, all right, we have these ultimates. What ultimates do they have? We're doing really well on this. Maybe we can do this a bit better. But I think if you're EDG, you're talking about, okay, what are we going to do this round? What are we expecting them to change to?
连续的回合下来，刚刚都是回合场均3杀，对吧？非常夸张。
这个就对于防守方来说是不能接。
I saw the duo Jules video, but I haven't watched it.
飞进来个超人，这怎么搞？
I saw like clips of it.
我觉得可以考虑的角度，其实跟我们任何时候在面对，就防守方处理的比较好的时候，角度是把对面后背的人断掉。我可以允许你一个雷兹跳进来，因为这你是有惊喜翻的，我拦不住。
对，
哪怕我有半线，我都未必拦得住。但是我要确保。
No, we didn't do Preds either.
导致你的雷兹是一个脱节的状况。其实这对于防守方 AG 来说是他们最应该做到的事情。
是的，可能现在我们看到的。 本身 AG 有双先锋。
Alright, you got full buy, well, half armor in a lot of cases. Like I said, ultimates just used here. Viper's Pit, not quite yet.
补枪补得非常到位啊，EDG目前为止还没有被对面打脱节过。
So EDG, are they changing much up?
能量球，铁臂也是随时在后方等着给到自己的支援技能。
Just really swapping the breach over towards A.
从选位上来看，其实变化不。
Omen playing in market. Maybe all gamers are like, they're not really doing anything towards here, so just keep closing the door, put this trip elsewhere. And then they got the trip that's going across there, the camera on top. This feels like it's a good read, though. Having a trip here is the big difference. So these guys can get pushed back. You still have good control here. You're past the wall, so you can see that nobody's managed to scale through. So they're checking it, they're seeing it, and after like a minute, EDG push top mid, but because of this trip, they're fairly comfortable. What it has done, though, is it has conditioned these guys to be playing in close. Rolling Thunder is the response too. And just getting one. I don't think Spitfires needs to be too aggressive here. You're in a 5 versus 4. You've got good information. You still have this trip. Your door's been broken. You got 2 people playing off of it. Stun to go across and help and allow a second peek for Del B. Really nice round from all gamers. Chichu in a 1 versus 5. He's got 1. Just needs 4 more, with 10 seconds and the spikes left in mid. Yeah, really good round. And the best part, this trip, I don't think it was seen. EDG don't know that it's got so much. Because usually when you're pushing top mid, you want to put question marks here and here. So EDG don't know that this side is like comfortable. Why are people going for heavy armor nowadays? Outlaw, people would say Outlaw, but here I'm not really too sure because you don't really see that much opping on this map at the moment anyway. Never mind Outlaw. Maybe it's like the fear of the Outlaw, I guess. But I think it's also just because there's so many like angel battles happening with like utility.
EDG 这个阵容我们还是要说的，单先锋包括像盖克，你的打一波的能力就是没有那么强，更多的就是让你双控。
Yeah, Delby's from Indonesia, but they speak pretty much fluent Mandarin.
但这一分其实 Swana 一开始选位是在中路坡顶的位置，然后他逐渐又在往 A 靠，其实跟上一分差不多，还是重点要在 A 大 E 开。
Yeah, I don't know really. Yeah, Sim Trip is up here. Same defensive setup. Putting a trip for market because they're expecting that like after this EDG are going to be more keen on breaking the door, which they have done. They're going to try and break the trip. They weren't able to.
没有办法去执行出自己心里想要的那个样子。
你出局就你脱节，想清楚。
是。
你敢越过这个。
Probably feared just like a sense of maybe there's well worth for only slightly better results.
进攻方、防守方换一下蛮赚的。
Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
如果是现在这个局面，不好说谁赚。
是的。标 B 的监控是放在了 B 大的门口上面啊，这个位置其实进攻方是必须要进去才能拆得掉的。
这个是可能是我们所谓的这种叫。
I think it's just more. Eco rounds seem to be less impactful nowadays too, because eco rounds tend to buy less. So they found Spitfires just holding this alone. Like you've got loads of like control towards B, but you can't let up on A at all, I don't think, especially with this wall. Monk gets one onto Kung gets traded. Oh, the plant is really risky considering you're going for on the other side of the wall where you have no info and no control. But luckily it works out. It did kind of force, I think, Smoggy and Chichu to kind of push with the wingman. And they'll be probably just saving.
是开宝这一分想要拿下，对于 DLB 来说还是一个特别困难的任务了，所以这回还是直接选择宝枪。
Even though all games have been like won the last round, their money's still tight, so saving this gun is super important. And money for nobody is great. Like 5.4k, 5.2 on Chichu, 2.4 on Smoggy.
今天真的也是瞄准机器啊，依然保持了自己。
Definitely worthwhile to go hunting.
但 EDG 反正我钱多。
Yeah, I don't know on that one. What do you guys think? Why do you think that there's like more full armor than half armor? You think it's because of the outlaw? Do you think it's fear of the outlaw, or just wanting to get more out of your full buys?
已经来不及了，小火龙站在了一个通道必死的位置，他最多只能尝试跟对面去爆了，对，跟对面去换，然后最终也没有能够做到有效的交换，而即便他做了有效交换，他也拦不住对面近点的脚步。 所以 Monk 一定还是在一个
Spam's a good shout as well, actually. Yeah.
我觉得是 AG 在输掉的这几个比分里面，面临的最多的一个输法，其实就是他们没有办法。
Yeah, but I think the thing this league is saying about snowball is because of because you don't have many people going for like sort of lowish buys and then having half armor for the next round. Like eco rounds just seem to be less. So I think the snowball is more a product of that. I guess also outside of Icebox and when it's a race map, it doesn't lend itself to be an op favored map either. So there's like less op. You know, playing half armor against an op is fine because even if you're on full armor, you still die to it. So the fact that there's less opping, more rifling, that extra 25 armor can make a big difference. Oh, this is so much like control too. At least the camera's got some good information that nobody's sort of lurking up, but it means that the Scythe has to keep checking it, which is really annoying. Not quite great from Spitfires. Good recon. All Smoggy needs to do is keep buying time here. It's good.
4打3进攻方依然多一人，而且回复依然存在。
主要是大杀器完颜火没了。
那你现在这个
Snakebite to just buy a bit of time.
说实话，现在如果开无人机，感觉有点
Wait for the Snakebite to go, and then they're gonna stun, send it in. Chichu's not afraid to fight here. You got the wingman as well to just go in and slap somebody when they get close. And Chichu's not afraid to just send itself in because Kung Kung's coming out the top and can trade.
还是有 EDG 成功的拿下。
对，就我能感觉到，其实 AG 对于这一分 all in 的就是欲望不是特别强，
就有点啾啾又结。
对，就如果你想 all in， 你一开始肯定就直接装载了。
Yeah, I agree with Kandinsky.
投入进去，那就意味着你
But I don't.
all in 的想法，或者说不够坚。
We haven't seen it happen yet. That's the thing. I feel like it's a lot of like, oh, they think that we think that they think that we're gonna go half armor so they can go outlaw. But I've never really seen that happen yet. Feels like nobody wants to be the team that tries half armoring to see what they can do.
3比5 ，AG 暂停完之后只拿了1分，这远远不够。你的暂停肯定不是像只拿1分就够了的。AG 这边还是想在 A 大前压，但这个障云一直让他们很难受。这次就算给了一个防守的单向烟，我们看到球球还是把自己的障云。
EDG just again fighting for mid an awful lot, and this Fury right through market or tile, sorry. They managed to get the showstopper. Haodong doesn't really get flashed despite being right in his face.
从这个地方扔出自己的神经曲息，他打开知道对手的位置，他只有5颗子弹，要去 solo。
Oh, that's such good like space taking. Again, all he needs to do is just buy time and attention.
还真是。
If he can keep the Omen focused this way, it means that the Rays can't rotate normally. Thrash is going to go backside. I mean, I think he was more expecting somebody to be in this corner, I guess. Spitfire's flanked all the way around. 2 versus 3.
目前来说，对他们来说只有2个人，哇！
Yeah, I can't really find too much.
进入到跑道。
Really nice playing around the map, though, from EDG.
前点的一个位置，棒头的位置，现在第一时间
Just finding little pockets and then Howdong
相当之开的
skilling up. Yeah, not too much. Chichu just needs to spray.
棒头的位置也倒了 ，EDG 成功拿到自己的第6分。
我在想，小火龙要不要尝试在防守方换一个位置？因为他在这个 A 大能做的事情太少，他就干看着对面障云，等着对面有人摸出来。是 EDG 不会这么做。
Shame you get the first kill.
所有在这最近的几分的第一时间的交火都不是在他这边。对，所以他
I feel like when you're flashed there against a breach, it should be flashing you a lot more than it probably did.
每2个回合吧，都是他没有能够成功的来到自己施展自己技
Do you
能。
know why they changed the schedule for this week? You mean like why it's one best of free Thursday, one best of free Friday? No idea.
见的比较
I
多。
feel like it's probably just preferential treatment for EDG to an extent.
这个卡手了，
难受了。
Because EDG haven't had to play on a Friday.
就这是我们
They always play at the weekend. But because they've got 2 games this week, because they're in the alpha group, so they have to play twice.
对，当然我们看到这回合也有一个变化，在你不去架这个 A 大的时候，
MSI, I guess that's also a great point, actually. Yeah, I think you're right.
偏进攻方出生点的位置。
对的。中路的位置给上了一颗。
Yeah, that'd be my guess. MSI's just started.
个人在去做防守，这也是 EDG。在这几个进攻回合里面，经典去打的 A 前点第一波给完技能以后，空中给市场压力。
Labor Day holiday?
控的其实很牢。
Is it a Labor Day holiday? I mean, it is in a lot of different places, but
对面很轻易的能够去入侵到自己的。
I didn't expect
就万一你等会儿把这个半线打了，你也不太好入。
because it's like May Day and stuff.
来了，这波要提 B 点是没有技能。
Yeah, maybe it's that too. Genuinely don't know.
他不确定有没有，看他慢慢走出来
The public holiday all week in China? Ah.
但是有侧波球龙能够掩护一下，smoke 已经先下一个，球球也能再摘一个，藏在后面铁壁这个位置，感觉也有点难去生存了，没办法。
是混烟头啊。
Yeah, strange.
望个这地方正义啊，混也混不过对手，马上拉出来了，也看到了，刚刚非常精准的头部命中，只剩下了剑九了，剑九手里
Yeah, good anti-eco. Fairly straightforward, pretty much flawless. Barely any damage done because of the weaponry.
自己的这个枪啊，
大家都是头，对吧？是我的枪，
我更贵呀。
我的枪更贵。
Yeah, MSI's a League of Legends tournament. It's happening in Shanghai. It started yesterday and goes on to like May the 19th. And then Master Shanghai starts like a day after it, if not like a couple of days.
现在他们有点没有办法解决的就是他们一开始赛前布置
Because the team that do the international events, like the people that produce, direct and stuff, the people that do those events for Valorant
位置的时候，我们要怎么去破这个局？
also do the international events for League.
做更激进的前压
And like TFT when there's events for that and stuff.
你要么就换一边压出去，比如说做 B 大的前压和中路的前压，你要么就在 A 点去打得更加激进。就
MSI's in Chengdu, not Shanghai. I mean, they have to move everything across them. I know that they're playing the first part of Master Shanghai here.
决定恶的一个状态。
这总不能让 AG 这边
Did I say that MSI was in Shanghai?
就不能这样玩了。
Sorry, I meant
这
China.
样的一个蝰蛇确实是看一场少一场了。我们知道，也知道后续可能障云这个位置没有办法再这么灵活的去改变位置了。
对，但其实从 EDG 进攻来看，他甚至很多时候不会第二次把这个障云捡走。就他
How far away is Chengdu from Shanghai?
还会给你更大的压力。
对，而且对于他来说，他禁闭不需要这个障云，你会发现，你会发现他在 A 点
Like
做了
other side of the country, a couple of hours away.
能够在 B 点去打得非常舒服的。
对的，
我觉得对于 AG 来说，就算你在 A 点一直被这个障云卡脖子，你可以
Yeah, all games actually using both their timelets here.
对
A 点
4 hours by high-speed rail.
也未尝不可。其实这张图你要说放点，我觉得放 A 比放 B 更合理。
而且这张地图其实我们看了比较多。
I still disagree with teams using both timelets in one half.
前几个回合的进攻里面，对于中路，
I mean, this is your map choice. To be fair, all gamers, like you can't be
中路的战术，在
like 9-3 as a half would be a bit of a disaster. You're also assuming that your attack side is going to be like
这样
fine.
的一个开局。
两边还是在 A 大换。
And ultimately, if your attack side is a bit better, EDG are going to be timing out, so you can use your stuff then. But yeah, I'd agree as well. I think there's a
这个单向其实也是队友给的，没有办法在
就你只能架到这里为止了。
再往前就是对手的单枪。
It never feels that it works.
小火龙能够给队友回报。
But it's better than holding on to both your timeouts way too late.
对，
但问题是，他不是很确定对面到底是中
来了
还是打集市。
对了，这个就是我们刚刚有说到的 ，AG 会不会控完 A 以后，第二时间来到中路去硬拼一波，推了一个暗眼效果。
Yeah, good like mid aggression here. Spitfire still dies to Kung Kung, but he gets traded. I mean, this is just Angels now. This is where the extra 25 armor can. I do a lot more at the moment. Flash.
他是先用丢丢给自己争取了对枪的优势，把这个1打2成功拆成了1打1，但是人数依然是个多一人的优势。现在 Smoky
Thinking that Monk is about 10 feet tall. It's a 1 versus 2. He does have Rolling Thunder. But any chance to do it quickly is gone. Smoggy pushing this. Super duper risky. But he's on a nice off angle now. But he has given Monk an opportunity back into this one. Chi-Chu's really good in these situations, and he still has a snake bite. And Monk is 45 HP. You're not going to expect him to peak like straight away. Yeah, really good shot. Nice and clean from Jiju.
没道理的突然给你拉出来吓一跳，但是我至少觉得 AG 这个回合是做出应对了，他们在中路其实在想办法了，而且市场这侧的包围做得不错，但是 Nobody 用自己的个人能力不讲道理去化解掉了这一分。
I feel like Potter is an exception to the rule though with any timeouts and stuff.
比较成功的一个改变了，只可惜我们要知道这是上半场的倒数第2个回合了。
这是第11分。
对你
I mean, in China, I don't think I'd be keen on doing it.
这一分其实你能看得到他在 丢丢这个技能上面的一个熟练度帮助到他很多。虽然丢丢确实没有把2个人都闪到，但是他可以利用身位去。
But it must be that, you know, all gamers must be comfortable with their attacking side. EDG have chosen to attack as well on all games' map pick, right? So
就是不管怎么样，其实
both these comps are a little bit more
1打1去打嘛。
attacking sided.
39还是48对 AG 来说，不管怎么
The
样。
first and only real time that we've seen EDG just kind of go B main that wasn't anti-eco.
小火龙真的是卡手已久了。
这个
这好像是上半场唯一一个。
用过一个炸汤汤一还没炸到吗？
That's a little bit much when you've snake bit and mollied that spot. But I guess it's been working so well for Kung Kung, so do something that's going to surprise them. And it doesn't matter anyway. His team's just too good right now.
就是很朴素的这样的一个补枪，小火龙的血量已经很低了，完颜虎随手的一轰
Very, very clean. Jesus.
不在自己预料之内，想要去放出完颜虎的一个动作。
是的，他上半场2个完。
I feel like they destroyed Viper too early. Really hate these small changes like Sky Nerf, Breeze Hole, and now I like to see big patches instead. Big patches though just make it so much harder for esports scene for one.
但是接下来就不一样了，方的2个人被浩东所吸引，然后掉到了 Nobody 和浩东形成了这个双架里面。是这个。
I don't know. I like small changes to see how they go.
对，而且
Like we are getting like pretty big changes, like 8.11, I think.
改变战局终极技能的。
So when they sort of announced the new act, I think a new map at the start of episode 9. So new map pool, and then duelist changes, I think is what Al Tombe was saying.
AG 是暂停完拿了1分，但是他也就只拿了那1分，在暂停完之后。
Snakebite nerf is crazy. No, I don't think so. First of all, because I haven't like streamed since the changes came out. Firstly, I don't think that the Viper nerfs are going to impact it that much, to be honest. I think like on maps, I think like Sunset, where you can play Viper, but you can also play like Double Initiator. You might want to play Viper less there. So stuff like Split as well. But like on Bind, I think you'd end up sticking with Viper anyway. On Breeze and Icebox, I think you stick with the Viper anyway. Lotus, I don't know. That's generally the one I'm like unsure on.
摊手了，这我走到中路的时候，我转到中路的时候，队友已经倒差不多了。这种局面确实对于 DLB 来说也是难以去更多的有发挥的。
But I think the problem more is like with Snakebite. I realized this yesterday. So we have a bit more time. So not only is it a molly that does like decent damage over a period, it also vulnerables. But then there's the other stuff as well that isn't really like mathematically accounted for. Like the radius is pretty big. The speed of which you throw the molly is one of the fastest moving bits of utility in the game. The fact that you can fire it up in the air, and unlike a medal or unlike a Phoenix molly, where after a couple of seconds either the metal just explodes in the air for Clove or the Phoenix Molly drops down. You can throw a Phoenix... you can throw a Viper Molly from one side of the map to the other and it will go all the way. It won't run out of duration. It'll bounce off walls. Like, that's the problem with Viper. Not only does our utility do something that nothing else really does, but it's like, it's a wall that you can put down. You don't need to, like, there's no positional thing that you need to be aware of. There's no range for it. You could be on one side of the map, put the Viper wall on another, and you'll be perfectly fine. You can also put it up and down multiple times. It can go up to different like levels of, like, it can go up a ramp and over the bottom. Something like Icebox, right? It goes over the top of 410. All of Viper's utility can just be like, and then it does this, and then it does that, and it also does this, and it also does that. That's the problem.
AG 来说完全能接受。暗眼推了，虽然没到突围，但是补枪来的比较快。还好雷击剑也给到一些。
A good utility and another good pistol. All gamers' pistols are crazy. Like, honestly, their win rate is something like 70-75%.
压出去显得比较突然，
有点突然，
很干燥，而且没有太多技能的一个帮。
Like here, they've won both pistols, and they still might lose. Isn't the game supposed to start at 8? VLR is wrong. To be fair, I didn't know until Saint messaged. But I don't know how Saint saw. I don't know if he just saw the stream. Oh shit, it's actually like starting 20 minutes instead of an hour and 20. Thank you for all of the partner anniversary stuff. I didn't actually know when my partner anniversary was, so I learned something every day. There's the Aldron. Get some good information. Full eco for EDG. They're fine. Yeah, literally the all gamers want few rounds that they've won is like the pistol, a follow-up, and one full buy on their defense. Which was the one where they put the trip up here. So, yeah, that's crazy. Out of the 5 rounds that they won, 2 pistols, 2 pistol follow-ups, and then 1 full buy.
我们可以看到，在起枪情况上面 ，AG 就是有所调整了。他们知道自己的比分已经有比较大的差距了，所以还是起到了一些长枪在。
You saw the tweet saying it was done in an hour. Yeah, thank you for that. I probably would have missed it myself.
这一分对于 EDG 来说很大。如果 EDG 输掉下半场被对面4比0开局的话，那这个局面又变得没有那么可控。
I also don't hate the Cypher trip nerf. I'm like, yes, that's great because I like the change that they made to it that it stays up until it's broken. But it definitely just felt too much, where it's like pinging every 1 second.
是 AG 这里的话是有3把步枪在的啊，狂徒燎犬还有
一把进来。
And then the camera one feels iffy, but yeah, there's a lot of like cheesy cameras, I suppose. That
都是可以去接受的，只是比分上压力会比较大。
半线打了，但刚刚不敢贸然出去，他刚才应该已经被混残了，
对，
不敢动，不能主动混烟。
it's a full buy now, but I have a whole opinion on people talk about skill expression in this game. Not really. Oh my god, nice shot from Spitfires. I don't think he should have won that realistically. Kungung's going to be hurt here. It doesn't matter. He doesn't care. He feels that he's just going to go for those peaks, so Spitfires getting 2 is incredibly nice, considering he's 20 HP.
市场的位置稍微看一眼就已经知道了。
一个9，那这样的话知道了中路对面 nobody 的位置。对方的2个人基本上是明白。
And then these guys just saving the guns. But yeah, like the Cypher nerfs where the camera now gives you an indication of when you're being watched. People would sort of say like the game's getting easier for people, like with smoke showing when they're about to drop. Stuff like cameras giving off a bit of information. My argument for that is just like, so what? Like, just because something's more simple and straightforward doesn't mean that it can't be like complicated, even though that sounds like it should juxtapose. Like if you look at something like CS's utility is incredibly straightforward, but the thing that makes CS such a good esport is how that basic utility in the general setups, like CS is a lot less complicated than Valorant when it comes to utility and agents and stuff like that, because it's everybody has access to a flash, a molly, a smoke, whatever you want to be getting. But I personally like watching esports where it's pretty straightforward for anybody to pick up and play. So you see the best players and see what they do. I don't want Valorant to be complicated for the sake of being complicated. I actually want it to be more like a very simple and straightforward game. It doesn't need to be like Overwatch. Like I want the smokes, like if you pick Omen over Brim, that there's like pros and cons to like smoke duration, how fast they deploy and stuff like that. But overall, I don't want super complex lot of interactions with abilities. So I don't mind skill expression dropping a little bit. And also, sorry, when it comes to like they're getting rid of skill expression, one of the first things that Riot realized, they didn't realize that people are going to use satchels in the way that like duelists execute, right? Like flight sort of movement. The devs like admitted right at the start of Valorant coming out that they were like, we didn't expect this, like this level of it. And they were asked like, are you going to nerf it? Are you going to get rid of it? And they're like, no. Like, we want Raze to be able to do this. We might make it so like there's an audio sound when you go for the air. We might make satchels more expensive, better or worse against utility, etc. Like, sorry, having a camera look in the corner, I don't mind getting rid of that skill expression and then keeping stuff like Raze satchel movement. Yeah, they have so much information here.
一点一点往前推，对于 AG 来说，他们也慌啊，每一个位置都要想办法去搜，摸到了 B 点，马上要进入到爆点点内的位置了。
这个时候只能盲进了，没办法，因为技能已经不足以去清完所有的点 ，B 大这个位置很有可能会漏，浩东应该会藏到最后对面安包的时候，但对面很聪明，我看到 AG 是选择安了一个这个偏近于防守方复活点的一个爆能器，是这样的话，我 B 大不用清，我默认你有人就好了。
哦吼，这出来帮忙。 去巡逻的小火龙又是掉在这儿了。
对 ，Nobody 这分其实拿了2个非常关键的1v1。是
贴在脸上了，球球手里是只有一把燎拳的，浩东手里是正义。
Oh my god, they're gonna win this eco. They're actually gonna win it. Really good eco round. I'm gonna have to write that one down. Jesus.
是
10比6 ，EDG 又重新把对面
I've lost my notepad though.
拿走的经济又要了回来啊。
对，这个回合是让大家没有想到的，也是用枪法在很多程度上去。
Team Secret just got an assistant coach right before playoffs. They haven't had one for a while, so.
加上一点点的抓机会嘛，我觉得没有什么。
You know, it's kind of what Warbirds would want.
设计和配合。
哎，拍个全家福没问题，大家都在，还有一棵树啊。
树下合影。
It was just the one rifle.
致敬我们现在。
So it wasn't really like it was like a half buy. Just from the 2 guns that were saved from losing the bonus. They're right back in it. Still above the timeouts too. So I don't know if it counted as a thrifty, technically, because there was 2 rifles. That gets into the question of like what constitutes a thrifty. I don't know if it's if you have a buy that's worth 10k less than the opponent, or whether you have a buy that's less than 10k. I can't work it out. And there's no clarification on it. It's called the spy cam while looping audio. I don't know.
就是直接被穿到了一枪都接受不了的程度。
上次都跳了，这次又跳上去，而且自己在这个地方。
Also, game balance isn't entirely for the pro scene.
被打到只剩。
I know that there's that trickle down mechanic, but.
都挨不住一下的一个情况。
山盟地线。
I mean, Riot seem very aware. Like you read their dev comments and stuff, like they seem. Like I trust them on it.
但其实防守方做的唯一想要做的事情就是不要让你拿到实质的控制权。现在进攻方还是没有拿下 A 大。
1500 per person.
就只有 B 大，现在他们只有
What are the difference between the 2 teams? So what is 1500 per person? 2500. So 12.5k difference. Okay, I actually didn't know that. I'm gonna write that down.
来了，打丢反馈 ，Smokey 在这个位置给上自己的一个黑杖，自己手里已经是没有暗眼了。
这 A 好难打哦，这 A 真的好难打，因为你现在进这个出这个烟其实非常难过。
要打闪打阵来找，要来。
哎，但是枪法没有稳定。
There's the fresh.
牵扯到他的准心。
Not enough time to break it. It hits all. Hits 2 of them at least. A Spitfires had just saved them. The nade though bounces horribly for Kung Kung. But he needs to get cleared on, like, safe. He's delaying. This is just such a Kung Kung round. Doesn't have time to really plant. Oh, and that trade from G2 is marvelous. Crazy round again.
是由 EDG 能够稳稳的去兜这个残局，又是康康选手个人能力一个爆发，吃了暗眼以后。
It's something to do with that. I don't think it is, because I tried checking and it seemed really muddy.
等到了队友的回防和返场，尽管晚宴后是被一发，但是时间已经成为了进攻方最大的敌人。
对，已经，哎呦。
Yeah, I mean,
HP 减1啊，
是
unlucky ego.
可以感受出来，他觉得这个回合确实是比较可惜，因为前期的部署已经是做得非常的好了。
I mean, hell, even at these points for all gamers, making sure that you don't lose hard, like 12-6, risky.
给出一个赛博球龙，自己先保一下命。
但这波如果提速没有抓到人，其实你的
losing 13-11,
也给了，但是现在
generally happy with.
我再给吗？硬抓浩东就是抓的，但是没有看。
Like it could be a big deal. Oh, and he gets his knife out just as Kung Kung peeks out with a smoke with an operator. That's got to be one of the most tilting things to deal with. This is the more frustrating thing with EDG in this region. They can just do no wrong. Usually peeking out of a smoke with an operator would get you punished. If you did that in EMEA, the chances of it actually working out in your favor would be crazy. But not in China. Teams get away with so much. EDG especially get away with so much. Here though, might not. Oh, but they line up. See what I mean? EDG can do no wrong. Every single time around gets close, magic happens. Or better yet, bullshit happens. Plot armor EDG, exactly. I mean, not clearing that position is a little bit rough, but yeah, like I think he was gonna get his nade out. He didn't even complete the animation on this side. Just make it easy for Smoggy to clean up on. It's kind of weird how people don't default to B main in this game. I mean, the B main post plant is strong, but like getting onto it isn't that straightforward. Depends on your comp and stuff really too. He's satcheling in to get more spike control. 13-6, alright. And what? 4 of those rounds were pistols and wins. 1 of them was a bonus win. Literally the only, like, all gamers only had 1, maybe 2. Well, full buy, pistol, follow up, full buy, pistol, follow up, bonus. Literally only one full buy versus full buy. This whole map. And the one time that they did put EDG onto an eco, they lost. Yeah, back to EDG just stomping on teams again. Maybe Icebox can be better for all gamers, but Christ knows, we'll see.